Kato Blue. Yes, finally I get my hands on a Kato dark blue. This is gonna be replacing the Kato I have now because this colorway looks so much better to me, and I'm kind of bored of silver IEMs anyway. I have too many of them. Today, not only are we gonna unbox this IEM, I'm also gonna be comparing the Kato to the current market overall because my old review of the Kato was done months ago and the market has changed dramatically, so we'll be pitching the Kato against its current competition and also tell you guys as well, if you guys want to upgrade from the Kato you guys already own, what are the options that are out there. Let's jump into it. Hey friends, Tim here. Welcome back to another video on SeeAudio. And today we have the unboxing of the Kato Blue and the re-review of the Kato itself. So let's just jump into the unboxing, shall we? This is the front of the box, of course. You see the new Moondrop waifu, pink hair, wearing the Kato and in the ocean. I think this one for me looks pretty classy. I kind of like it, but I do prefer the original Kato waifu a little bit more. I think that one looks a bit more classier to me personally, but this one looks good. I would say in the top 3 best Moondrop marketing waifus. Yeah, why not? I know a certain someone had a ranking of waifus in the IEM world. Maybe go check out that video sometimes. The back of the box is the exact same as the original Kato from what I remember. There's a graph at the bottom here, there's the components and also some writings on the side. Now the box opens up like so, like a book, and there's a little thing right here that covers everything. I'm just gonna let it drop. There we go. The carrying case, the IEM, and the rest of the stuff here. As I was saying, the carrying case, the exact same as the original Kato. Now though, the blue matches the IEM, which I think is much nicer. Postcard, yes. What do you guys even do with these? Let me know down below. To my knowledge, the accessories are the exact same, the cables as well. So here are the sets of tips. We have the spring tips and the foam tips. A tiny pouch to carry the IEM just in case you don't want to use the big one. And inside we have tuning nozzles. Yes, of course, if you guys did not know, Kato comes with 2 different sets of tuning nozzles, the silver one and the brass one. The silver one comes stocked on the IEM. Cable is exactly the same. Yes, exactly the same. I do like these cables though, big fan. Not too heavy, but they do have some heft to them, but they feel thick and yeah, again, premium. Remove the plastic off of this to reveal. Oh man, that is just gorgeous. Compared to the original Kato, the original Kato just looks boring right away. I mean, the silver doesn't look bad for sure, but the blue is, yeah, welcome addition. Love this. Just in case you guys don't know, this is the exact same tuning as the original Kato. It's just the color's different. Now it's time for the re-review or update review of the Kato. My review of the Kato itself, again, is super old, but you can still watch it if you want to know the full thoughts of the Kato. This video is going to be comparing it to its current competitor in today's market and also go over some upgrades if you already own the Kato. So the first competitor to the Kato is one of the newer IEMs released a few months ago by Thieaudio. This one is the Thieaudio Elixir. Now this to me is neither an upgrade or a downgrade to the Kato, more of a side grade. This one is tuned similar in the upper mid range but different in the lower mids, bass and in the treble area. The Elixir has noticeably less color in the lower mid-range and also less bass as well, just smoother overall. The Kato comes across more fun and the bass more thumpy, while the Elixir is more neutral, cleaner vocals, cleaner mid-range altogether. The treble area on the Elixir is going to be a little bit more tame than the Kato overall, and the detail level between the two I would say are very similar, with the Kato being slightly bit more resolving. The bass line is tighter on the Kato than on the Elixir. Each note on the Kato also hits with slightly bit more distinction as well. But all in all, if you ever think that the Kato has just too much mid bass, you want to just reduce that a little bit while keeping relatively same tuning across the other frequency ranges, then the Elixir is the side grade to the Kato. It's a good alternative option. And coming around similar price tags as well. I think it's just slightly a bit more expensive than the Kato. Next, we have an IM from SeeAudio, and this one is SeeAudio Yume Midnight, a critical collaboration. In comparison to the Kato, this one has a cleaner mid-range, almost an uncolored mid-range, just a little bit of touch of warmth, not as much as the Kato, less bass than the Kato as well, more focus on the sub bass, while the Kato is more focused on the mid bass. In the treble area, the Yume Midnight also has better extension than the Kato. That being said though, I feel like the Yume Midnight does have quite uneven treble at times, resulting in a little bit of peaks here and there. Some fatiguiness may result from the Midnight, while on the Kato you get a more relaxed, tamer, safer treble overall, though lacking that bit of sparkle that the Midnight have. So there's trade-off, pros and cons for each type of treble. I would say both treble are not perfect. For me though, I do prefer the treble on the Midnight simply because I do like a bit of extension, I do like a bit of sparkle, which the Kato for me has, but has not enough. When it comes to detail, I would say the Kato beats the Midnight due to the fact that it's just tighter overall. Each note is a little bit more well separated, though not by a huge margin. Still better. Overall, the Kato is going to deliver a more fun experience with that mid-bass focus, tamer treble area, so a safer signature altogether while still again being fun. The Midnight is going to deliver a more hi-fi experience, being more neutral and uncolored across the board, sub-bass focus, well-controlled bass into a nicely energized upper mids and treble areas. So the Midnight, I would say, would be the better choice for those of you who are looking to get a more neutral, high fidelity type of signature, while the Kato is best suited for those of you who want to have a fun IM. When it comes to the $150 to around $250 area, we can't ignore the planars that exist there, namely the S12. I know I'm holding the C12, just pretend it's an S12, and the Timeless. Now these two are tuned similarly. I would say the S12 has more treble than the Timeless, and that's pretty much it. Just to explain it in the most simplest way possible, this just has more treble. Both of them are V-shaped signature though, so they lean on the more fun and sparkly side. The mid-range is not gonna be the most flat or the most uncolored out there. The Kato, I would say, is more neutral than these two, but what these two have over the Kato is how well the treble area is. The Timeless especially is so sparkly, is so lively, while at the same time not coming across offensive in any way. The S12 is gonna be more aggressive. I would say still in the realm of listenable, but it will be too much for some for sure. The biggest difference between these two and the Kato though, besides the tuning, is gonna be the detail retrieval. The S12 is better than the Kato by a little bit, while the Timeless is better than the Kato by at least almost one step or one grade. So why should you go for the S12 or the Timeless over the Kato? I would say detail is the number one thing. Number two thing is treble, of course. And number three, if you want something that is even more fun, faster hits, more distinctive hits than the Kato, then these two are fantastic choices. The reason you would still stick with the Kato is that you are a little bit more sensitive to treble. You still want a fun signature, but you still want to retain a bit of neutralness as well. Then the Kato is a safe choice, a good choice to stay with. Now, before we go into my last comparison, let's touch on some of the other options within the Moondrop family itself. Of course, if you want to upgrade from the Kato, there is the Blessing 2 Dust, there's the variations. Both of these are tuned differently than the Kato though, so you won't get the same Kato tuning, but they are better in details by a mile, especially the variations. I would say they're worth it upgrades to the Kato. If you're on a budget, you want Kato style of tuning, but you can't afford it for whatever reason, the Aria would be the cheapest option. Tuning is around 90 to 95% similar. The only thing you're sacrificing, or the biggest thing you're sacrificing, of course, is detail. Now for my last comparison, and this one is, I would say, an upgrade over the Kato in some ways and a side grade in some ways, but it's definitely an upgrade in terms of price to performance, because this one is only $100 and this one is the Dioko. Yes, the Dioko. Now, having said that, I should say that this is tuned drastically different than the Kato. The Kato is mid-bass, is fun, is thumpy, safe treble. This one is more neutral, less bass, it's almost bass shy in a way. It doesn't have a lot of mid bass, also doesn't have too much sub bass as well. The mid range is uncolored, neutral, clean, decent energy in the upper mids, although not as much as the Kato, so the Kato is going to be livelier. In the treble area, I would say the Dioko is more boosted than the Kato, so you get more micro nuances from the Dioko, but that also comes with a little bit of unevenness as well. Overall level of details is where the Dioko wins over the Kato by about half a step or so, around the S12 range, but it is again much cheaper than the Kato. So that's where this becomes more appealing. It's really the price to performance. Now, does it sound better than the Kato? If you're coming from the Kato, are you gonna like the Dioko more? That's really hard to say because again, the tuning is so drastically different. If you want bass, if you need the mid bass fun, then stick with the Kato. Is plenty wonderful of an IEM. If you want more neutral than the Kato, you want uncolored sound, this is one of the cheapest options out there with details that is better than the Kato. Alright, that is it for this video today. Thank you so much for watching. Now, should you upgrade from the Kato? Well, upgrade from the Kato to the dark blue version or not, that's entirely up to you. If you love the color, by all means, sell your old one, buy this new one. That's again, all up to you. The sound is exactly the same. For me though, I love the blue that much more, so hence why now I have the blue version. Should you upgrade from the Kato if you already own the Kato? I would say around a $200-300 price tag. I would not really spend the money to upgrade to IEMs in this area. I would save up a bit more personally to get higher end IEMs. You'll see a more drastic improvement in sound performance that way, as opposed to just buying something that is a side grade or just a slight upgrade to the Kato. For example, the variation would be a really good upgrade from the Kato. I would argue the dust as well, but the variation is just that much more of a jump. So anything variation and up, I would say good to save up for. Anything around $200-300 range might be too little of an upgrade to worth the hassle of selling and buying. So if you have the Kato right now, just be happy. You still have one of the best IEMs under $200 out there on the market today. I just compared it to all of its current relevant competitors, and as you can see, it still stands up extremely well even till today. So if you own the Kato, just be happy, enjoy the music, buy a new color if you want.